Hey Robert, it's Maddie. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the 90-degree haircut with razor and scissors for our state board practical. First, you're going to start by beginning and wetting the hair completely, saturating all of it. And combing it through, getting all the tangles out. I pre-combed so that it wouldn't be too knotty. And then the criteria per state board is you begin with doing using the razor for the perimeter. And the biggest lesson I learned while taking my test the first time is not to spend too much time on the perimeter, because then you don't leave yourself with enough time to do the layers. So I'm not even going to section the back out. I'm just going to comb it really straight and have it be really saturated and wet. And then I grab my razor and I start in the back middle, section it into two, split it right down the middle, and then I start and I take 1 inch off the bottom with my razor. And I'm cutting like this diagonally with my razor away from the head. And I do that all around the perimeter. Once I've gone middle to left, I start in the back again and I go middle to right. That's just how I work my way around the perimeter. And when I'm combing through to grab my section, I'm having my razor palmed with the blade away from the head. Once I'm finished cutting the perimeter, that's when I switch to my scissors. And I've learned this 90-degree haircut a couple of different ways, but I choose to do it my own way. And so how I do it is I subsection the head in 3 sections horizontally. So I'll do it from behind the ears across, and that'll be my first subsection. And then from there, I take pie sections and I cut it perfectly 90 degrees elevated from the scalp. I'll show you what that looks like. This is my first subsection. And I go in and I take pie sections, start left from right, just elevate at 90, and cut where my guideline was. I do that all the way around the head. Perfect. Then I just grab the sides and pull down to make sure they're even. They are. Then I take my next subsection. My second subsection is going to be a horseshoe around the occipital area of the scalp. And just make sure I'm starting at equal distances. I'm going to section that horseshoe out, and then I'm going to do the same thing and start left from right, following my guideline. And I'm just going to elevate it 90 degrees from the scalp. And cut like that. Taking the smallest subsections. Cutting about 1 inch off. That's how much is requiring to meet my guideline. I'm cutting over the fingers using as my technique, palming my shears in between away from the head. As you can see, there's my guideline. It's nice and clear for me. Then I check the length. Perfect. As you can see, it already gives it some dimension, some layers. You can see that curl bounce. For my final subsection, I just let the horseshoe down and then I part it right down the middle and I lay the hair flat. And this is my only subsection that's a little different than the last two. It's okay to resaturate, make sure it's nice and wet. So this one I'm elevating in 2 different directions because it needs to connect to the occipital and also needs to be elevated directly 90 degrees from the scalp. So for this one, I start in the back and I work my way from the back to the left and then from the back to the right. I take pi subsections. And my first elevation is about a box, so it would be straight out. And I cut that where my guideline connects. And then I take that same pi section and I elevate it vertically up and connect to where my guideline is. Sometimes it even takes 3 subsections. Your guidelines should match up perfectly and you should be able to see it very clearly through. Just going to rotate my head a little bit. Working from the center to the right now. Taking small pie subsections. Last subsection. Perfect. Look at that texture. I'm going to check it for length one more time. And the way I cross-check this, I did that in 13 minutes and 53 seconds. So I have about 16 minutes left. I have 30 minutes in this section to do this haircut. So that gives me a good 15 minutes to cross-check. And what I do to cross-check is I comb all the hair back and I just take it the opposite direction of the way I was cutting before. So I take it horizontally and I pull it vertically straight up 90 degrees from the scalp. And as you can see, there's a little bridge right there of where my hair meets up from both my guidelines on the side. And I'm just going to cut that bridge off and make it even straight across. And it's barely the slightest little bridge. And And that is the 90-degree layered haircut. It looks really good on my permed mannequin. Thank you, Robert. I tested negative, so I'll see you at school tomorrow.